Alright guys, welcome to my first full-length video here on KalashmanNC. We're very happy to have you aboard. What we're going to cover in this channel is matches, two-gun, carbine matches mainly, what my journey's been doing those, what I shoot, what I wear, and why I enjoy doing it. I'm very pleased to say that last weekend I finished off the 2025 season with a carbine match. And for the first time since I started competitively shooting this year, I took first place in my division and first place overall at the match. It was a very good match. Very satisfied with my finish. I started this late 2024, like November, December timeframe. Shot a hodgepodge of matches, everything from DMR to outlaw falling steel to normal two-gun. And finally finished off the year with not only a podium finish, but a first place finish and a first place overall finish. So I'm very satisfied with that. The rifle that took me there was my Zastava M90. Now you'll see a lot of people hating on Zastava guns online. I don't know why. I love them. I love them so much that not only do I have this one, my main squeeze, I thought that it needed a twin. So I have two. We'll talk about this other one here in a second, but first I'll give you the skinny on this one. So this gun is just essentially a bone stock M90. We'll start at the front. It's got a JMac 2-port brake, the regular 3-position gas puck, surplus furniture from Mocus Rafus with the grip. I love the M70 grip. It's got a SIG MSR Gen 2 red dot, perfect little dot for the 85 bucks that I spent for it. It's got a Zastava brand side rail. I believe these are made by UTG. Only reason I'm running this is it came with the rifle. If you're gonna buy one right out the gate, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, just get RS Regulate, because this has some flex in it. I would not put magnified optics on this at all, because it just wouldn't be good. It holds up fine for, two-gun and carbine matches where I'm not walking this thing past 120 yards. Plenty good for that. It's got an AK thumb grips charging handle, and I did blue the bolt because I'm not a New Orleans pimp. I don't like chrome bolts. Sue me. Factory trigger. It's just a performer. The proof and the finishes speak for themselves. This gun is extremely flat, not punchy at all, probably because it weighs as much as a fucking tank does. It's just a great rifle, and I really, really, really like it. Some people don't like Zastava. They'll say stuff about metallurgy and all that. Well, I'm here to tell you that the bolt on this gun looks perfectly fine, and I've shot, 4 or 5 matches with it this year. No problem. I don't know round counts because I don't, to be honest with you, keep up with all that. I don't care. I'm going to shoot it, and if something happens, I'm going to have it fixed and keep shooting it some more. We mainly ran it this year with these ISD, I believe these are ISD, Bulgarian Commercial 5.56 mags. It loves these mags. This year we were blessed that they finally listened to the consumer and they gave us proper 45 round 5.56 RPK mags. Great mags for the money. You can abuse these and you don't have to treat it like it's a $500 Molot mag. You can throw it on the ground, step on it, it's just going to work. They are steel reinforced where they need to be, front and back, as well as the feed lips, and that goes for the 30s as well. It likes these Zastava brand polymer mags. I've got a handful of these. I don't like these. I don't like them mainly because of the bolt hold open. I think that's a useless feature on an AK, and I don't like how fat they are at the bottom. If you're trying to get these to work in very specific pouches, they're just not going to. Now, if you're running a Chicom or something like that, they'll be fine, but if you have like a dedicated AK-74 mag pouch that has a flap on it, this is going to create a problem. So I don't like these, but they do run, and I have a handful of them. The mag that nobody really seems to care for, and I'm not the biggest fan of them either, to be honest, the 30s or these, are the AC Unity mags. These mags will run good enough for a match, I would say. And prior to getting these, this is all we had in the AK space for a, you know, a high capacity magazine. They're ugly, they feel cheap, they feel really cheap. The metal reinforcement is not steel. There's a name for it, I don't remember what it is, but it shaves itself, so it fits itself to whatever gun you're going to put it in. Not really a problem because I run it exclusively in these M90s. This right here, get you some of these. I've got 5 or 6 of these now, and they're absolutely phenomenal. And when we had a handful of 5.56 AK users at the match last weekend, every gun had one of these in it. So if you're shooting AKs at matches, you can expect to see a lot of these being used, especially as a stage starter. Cut down on reloads, get better times. So like I said, I liked my first M90 so much that I got another one. Now this one is not sporting surplus furniture because Mocha's didn't have any more of what I have on this gun. Now he's still got some surplus furniture, but it's trench art furniture, and it's $150 more than what I paid for what's on this gun. So I had to settle for Apex gun parts, American-made wood furniture, and it's not bad. The stock is a very different shape. It's got a much higher cone. It's very hard to use with iron sights, but for this dot, it's fine. You get a really good cheek weld on it, and it puts your face exactly where it needs to go. Another surplus M70 grip. You'll notice that that's a trend with all my rifles. I really like the M70 grip. AK thumb grips, charging handle, once again a blue bolt because I don't like chrome. And instead of the JMac 2-port, this one is running a steel DTK2 muzzle brake. Adds some weight on the front, it's hefty, and it throws some fireballs, but let me tell you, it keeps the gun really, really flat. This one's just a smidge flatter than the other M90, but you pay for it with the weight trade-off. So give and take like everything. This one's got a SIG, what is this? Romeo 7S. Probably one of the best red dots on the cheaper end that I think SIG's ever made. Uses a AAA battery. It's good. I like it. And once again, this gun came with the Zastava brand UTG side rail. Don't buy them. I'm telling you right now, don't buy this. Get an RS Regulate. Now you might say, now Kalashman, I can save some money and I can get one of these. True, you can. You can pick these up for about 70 bucks used, tax swap. There's a handful of them on tax swap. They get the job done for red dots. I would not put anything magnified on this. I wouldn't do it. You do that at your own risk. I haven't really ran this one at a match yet. I've got some plans for this rifle. It's going to get a SLR handguard. I'm going to keep the wood stock. And I'm going to set this up for night vision stuff because I do some night vision stuff from time to time as well. Another great rifle. You know, I don't understand why the M90s or Zastava USA in general garners so much hate. You know, M26 Lemon Grenade doesn't have anything positive to say about Zastava guns. And I don't think that's fair. I shoot mine religiously. It works good. Clayco, you know, on his long-term review of his M90, he's got a wear spot on the front left part of his front trunnion where the metal's just kind of working itself in. I don't know what causes that. I can tell you that both of my guns do the same thing. They both steal headspace. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a problem at all. I'm going to keep shooting mine. If it breaks, I'm going to fix it or have it fixed, and I'm going to keep shooting some more. I've owned a lot of different 5.56 AKs. Everything from an old SAR 3 that I didn't like because I think Romanian stuff is fucking garbage. It's junk. I bought my first Wasser. I'm going to date myself here. In 2010 from Adventure Outdoors in Smyrna, Georgia. I paid $330 for a Wasser 10. It had the cheap Century black front handguard and a Tapco side folder. You know, that shit was all the rage back then. if you bought a Romanian gun back then, if you were getting into AKs, you got fucking trashed on the forum for buying a Wasser 1063 because it was the bottom of the barrel. And newsflash, it's still the bottom of the barrel. They're still fucking trash. They're trash rifles. I'll die on that hill. I've been in the AK game for 15, 16 years now. They're junk. The only redeemable Romanian guns that were ever brought into the country were Romy Gs, which were brought in as parts kits and then built. Those are decent. And the Romanian SAR-1, because it's just flat out AKM, and they're beautiful guns. But those are built to a different standard than the old Wasser 1063s were, and certainly the new Wassers. I know I went off on a completely different tangent here. Stay tuned to the channel. We're going to start working on our 2026 match schedule. It's going to be more focused this year than it was for 2025, where I was shooting a hodgepodge of all different matches. It's going to be monthly 2-gun, mainly with the M90. Whenever the carbine matches themselves come back around, we're going to shoot all of those. And we're going to shoot the Kalash Classic that comes around too. There should be 2 of them in 2026, as well as AK Masters. So we're gonna round robin all those. Now, I had plans to attend Kalash Bash. Me and somebody you probably know if you're into AKs, Magdump Supreme, who's become a good friend of mine. Dare I say, a really good friend. We were gonna RV to Kalash Bash. However, tickets sold out in like 10 seconds, and there was nothing we could do about that. We weren't fast enough on the trigger. So that's off the table. But we still have plenty of matches here we can shoot. We don't have to drive to Texas to do AK specific matches. One of the biggest AK matches in the country is held, not far, and that's AK Masters, and we'll be there as well. Like I said, subscribe. We're gonna have some more stuff coming down the pipeline. Looking forward to getting a good camera set up so I can get you some like onboard match footage. You can see how I'm running a stage, how fast I'm trying to run the gun without sacrificing accuracy, stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna keep running the M90 because, quite frankly, it's just a beautiful gun and it shoots like a dream. And with these 45 round mags, pretty good. So buy an M90 if you're wanting a 5.56 AK. I think right now it's probably the best that you can get. Now, if you want to go the route of getting a 223 Sega and having it converted, I'm not going to talk you out of that because I had one of those up until recently. Actually traded it to a buddy of mine for that other M90 that I showed you. It was a great gun. I just didn't take it where I wanted it to go. And for me to get it where I wanted it to go was going to be a lot of money. And I would much rather just have another M90 because I like shooting the M90 more than I do that. If you're wanting a 5.56 AK in 2025, 2026, get one of these while you can. They're great. It's been a great gun. I'm gonna close out with one thing that Lemon Grenade said. He talked about it on one of his last videos, about the M90. He said that Clayco has one that he really likes, but he had to put a lot of money into it to get it to be a good gun. No, the only thing Clayco did was chop the barrel and put an Occam gas block on it. That was it. That's not changing anything core with the rifle. His is still shooting just fine. Mine's still shooting just fine. I don't know why Lemon Grenade hates Zastava the way that he does. It may be because he's torn apart more AKs than I ever will and built them from a box of parts, and I don't do that. So I'm not going to be nitpicky about it. I love mine. I love both of mine, actually. They shoot really good. And the proof is in the pudding. These guns, they perform. If you're doing your part, that rifle's going to do its part. Like I said, subscribe. Looking forward to feeding you guys some more content and taking you along to some matches with me. You're going to see Magdump Supreme 69 on here from time to time because we shoot almost every match together. He's relatively close to me, and like I said, he's a good friend of mine. Yeah. First full-length video, probably garbage. That's all right. We'll get better. We'll get better as it goes on. But thank you guys for being here. Subscribe, tell your friends, and look forward to seeing you at some matches.